Good morning to all of you. It's Sagar here from eZone, and today we're going to talk about listening section. We're going to continue discussing on where we left yesterday. So हिजो हामीले जहाँ छोडेको थियौँ त्यहीँबाट resume गर्छौँ. Okay, so with that in mind, I want you all to enjoy the class. Something new, I hope. So we'll be waiting a couple of minutes and then we get started. Okay, so let's hear who is listening. Say hello in the comment section. So, and let's get started. Very good morning to you all. So, as our agenda, listening again. And the last question that we have left is the topic discuss garim. So we have one question left, that is write from dictation. So यसको आज value कति छ, where does it contribute the scores, यसको marks कति आउँछ र किन यो question चाहिँ एकदमै important छ भन्ने कुरालाई आजको main agenda त्यो गरौँ. Good morning Naveen ji, good morning Mr. Rana, good to see you guys again. So let's hang on for a couple of minutes and then we can get started with write from dictation. So, कुनै questions are in the meantime सोध्नु मन लागेको भने please feel free to comment and I'll try to get back to your questions. Okay. All right. So let's see. No comments. So मैले तपाईहरुलाई एउटा table छोडिदिएको छु. Have a look at that. र त्यसमा write from dictation को value हेर्नुस् एकचोटी. So that's the second most important question. PTE examination. Write from dictation gives you a total of 55 points, which is massive. धेरै नै smart listening 25 roughly and writing roughly 30 points. So in total 55 points are contribution to your final score. That's why it is the most important question in PTE. I'd say one of the most, किन भन्दाखेरि यो र repeat sentence हो. अनि त्यसपछि obviously read aloud and blanks. So यो चारवटा question हामीले properly गर्न सक्यौं भने 200 out of 360 question बाट आउँछ. Okay, so be very prepared for this. It is an extremely important question. तर यसको practice repeat sentence गर्दाखेरि पनि you're going to learn to memorize the sentence. So त्यो भएको भएर तपाईको दिमागको capacity, storage capacity बढ्दै जान्छ when you practice repeat sentence as well. कुनै क्वेशन्सहरु देखिन मैले कमेन्टमा खासै. So all right, let's move on then. Let's practice a few repeat sentence questions. Let's see how it goes and then we move ahead from there. Okay, let's see. So, write from dictation, as a main agenda. Okay, no questions, no comments, then let's get started. Questions. So, write from dictation, we are going to get about 3 to 4 questions. So, number of words in each sentence that you hear will be about 10 to 12. 10 to 12 words ko sentences each correctly spelled word gives you 1 point as long as it is in order. So there is student ke confuse हुनुहुँदो रहेछ भन्दा त्यो order मिलाउनु पर्छ कि पर्दैन भन्ने कुरा. So what we should understand about this is each correctly spelled word gives you 1 point. So that's the marking scheme for write from dictation. Very simple, very straightforward. So हरेक तपाईले correctly spell गरेको wordले तपाईलाई 1 marks दिन्छ. So with that in mind, I want you to try and answer a few questions with me. So सँगै try गरेर हेरौँ एउटा बेटा. So अनि त्यसपछि त्यसको scoring पनि हेर्दै जाऊँ न हामीले. Okay, so listen up, get ready. Here we go.
Recession triggers creativity and high rates of entrepreneurship due to past experience.
Okay, that was a very, very tough one. Okay, so मैले अघि याद गर्नुभयो भने I noted down the initials. This is how I like doing write from dictation. यसमा के भनेको थियो? Recession triggers high rate of something due to past experience. Okay, so this is the trouble with write from dictation. When you don't do it instantly, just we spent time talking, so your talkingले mind distract भयो and distract भएपछि you don't get the score that you expect. तपाईको memory अलिकति loss हुने बित्तिकै when you are distracted, you generally end up getting very low scores. So recession triggers CA, you did a word I forgot, what were they? HR, high rate of E, I don't know, due to past experience, I got that. So let's see the answer. Creativity, okay, so C was for creativity, A was for and. Entrepreneurship was the word from E. So यसरी चाहिँ हामीले write from dictation question गर्दा चाहिँ concentration lapsesहरू हुन दिनु भएन. Because as soon as you lose your concentration, you end up losing points. Okay, so alright, my bad, we missed out on a few. So initials note गर्न try गर्नु. That helps you a lot. Okay, this time I'm going to be more focused.
Students requiring an extension should apply sooner rather than later.
Okay, I think this time we got it correct. Students reapplying for extension should apply sooner rather than later. Okay, so students reapplying for extension should apply sooner rather than later. So I think that was the audio, so let's just delete this. So reapplying, Kosatama may be applying. I can add an extra word there. Students ko spelling bigarim, so let's fix that. Students reapplying, applying for extension. If you think extensions, so you can have that as well. Should apply sooner rather than later. Don't forget to put a full stop at the end. Okay, so this is how you can do your write from dictation. So suruma initials tipnu, and then you can add a few words here and there in between if you get confused. If your student sir sabai word ko duita lekhe hundaina bhन्छ, that's not necessary र त्यसले writing ko score ma hit गर्छ, I'm pretty sure. So your question ma not to write every word 2 times जरुरी छैन. Whenever you get confused, spelling ma confusion छ, reapplying भने कि applying भने confused छ, extensions, okay, couple of places 3-4 word I don't mind, but everything 2 times is not a good idea. Okay, so let's submit the answer. Let's see what score we got over there. All right, so 5 out of 6. So an extension, so that is the word I skipped, that's why we lost a point. So students reapplying, applying, requiring an extension, right? So a little bit of misunderstanding, and we lost 1 point. Should apply sooner rather than later. Okay, so यो क्वेसन प्र्याक्टिस गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ टु थिङ्स टु किप इन माइन्ड. नम्बर वान, जहिले पनि इनिसियल्स टिप्ने बानी गर्नु, द्याट हेल्प्स यु अ लट. Okay, so that's one part of the practice. Second part of the practice, कुनै पनि spelling confused छ भने हामीलाई, if we are not sure about the spelling, दुईटा लेख्नुहोस्. That's always acceptable, nothing to worry. Okay. So जहिले पनि हामीलाई, for example, if we are confused with the spelling, if we are not sure about the spelling, you can always go for two words. त्यो पनि एउटा राम्रो habit that should be developed if you want to score good in your right from dictation. Right from dictation ले अघि हामीले हेर्यौं contributes in two different places. तपाईको राइटिङ मा पनि ठुलो स्कोर जान्छ यसबाट, अनि तपाईको लिसनिङ मा obviously जाने नै भयो. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. Okay, अब यो क्वेसनमा कुनै पनि कन्फ्युजन्सहरु छ भने please feel free to comment. Otherwise, we're going to practice, and I'm going to try to get full score this time. Either.
The lecture will cover the reason for climate change.
Okay, so that was the audio. It said the lecture will cover the reason for climate change. So that was the audio. T was the, L was lecture, W was will, C for cover, the reason for climate change. Okay, so when you're sure about the audio, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words. We got all of them, so no point writing any extra words. Yeah, so for climate change, of climate change. Preposition ma confusion. Okay. For climate change, Sunemamle was of climate change. Okay, so let's listen to one more time.
You will be tested via continuous assessment and examinations.
Okay, so the audio said you will be tested by continuous assessment and examinations. Okay. So let's see if somebody has got the answer. Not yet. Okay. So you'll be tested via continuous, via or by. So continuous assessments and examinations. So if you think it was singular, you can do this. Examinations of your last word also. I don't think you should be taking the risk. And you can simply check the answer. You'll be tested via continuous assessment and examinations. So that's how you can practice your right from dictation. Okay, so right from dictation practice गर्दाखेरि तीन चारवटा कुराहरू याद राख्नु. एउटा इनिशियल्स नोट गरेर गर्ने बानी गर्नु, because it helps you get the words more precisely. Number one. Number two, the first word has to be capital. It is a rule. The last word has to have a full stop. That's another rule. And each correctly spelled word gives you 1 point. So that's something to keep in mind. यति हामीले simple facts दिमागमा राखौं, and then keep working hard, keep practicing. यो क्वेशन तपाईको मेमोरी पावरमा पनि धेरै डिपेन्ड गर्ने क्वेशन हो. त्यो भएर रिपिट सेन्टेन्स र Right from dictation say please practice as many as you can, at least 1000 भन्छु मैले चाहिँ, किन भन्दा त्यति गरेपछि हाम्रो brain gets trained for this question. It's very important to train our brain. हाम्रो दिमागलाई यो क्वेशनको लागि प्रिपेयर्ड बनाउनु पर्यो. त्यति बनाउन सक्यौं भने चाहिँ we are going to enjoy this question. It's not a very difficult question to solve, but at the same time practice पुगेन भने चाहिँ this becomes pretty tough. अलिकति गाह्रै हुन्छ. So right from dictation को simple फन्डाहरु अघि मैले भनेको कुराहरु दिमागमा राख्नुस् र practice as many as you can. Sometimes to get small words. So let's try one more time.
The resources cited are not enough for this assessment.
Okay, so again, academic theo topic. The resources cited are not enough for this assessment. So your assessment, assignment, is the words. Please learn them. PTE ma धेरै सोच छ है. The resources cited are not enough for this assessment. So that was the audio. The resources cited are not enough for this assessment. So we got it right. And let me see if anybody else got it right. Okay, so where is the comment section? Now come on. After answers राख्नु, that's always a good idea to practice. So तपाईहरुले right from dictation गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ भने TPL ले बानी गर्नु, okay? And on the exam day you will have an erasable notepad with you. So erasable notepad मा मजासँगले सुरुदेखि लास्ट सम्म नोट गर्दै टिप्दै बस्न मिल्छ. And take advantage of that. अब तपाईलाई नोट गर्दा if you get distracted, मलाई गाह्रो लाग्छ भन्ने खालको कति स्टुडेन्टहरु त्यस्तो पनि हुनुहुन्छ. In those cases compulsory छैन नोट गर्नलाई. Maybe you just leave it and don't take any notes. त्यो गर्दा पनि भयो. तर bottom line के हो त त्यो सेन्टेन्स चाहिँ मिल्न पर्यो. र यसमा 100% मार्क्स ल्याउँछु भन्ने खालको त्यो जबरजस्ती गर्नु भन्दा whatever you listen त्यसलाई चाहिँ make sure you get the spellings correct. Spellings correct बनाउनको लागि if you have to add a few extra words, couple of extra words here and there, it's not a big deal at all. मजाले हाल्न मिल्छ. त्यस्तो खालको extra words राखेर if you can get a few extra points, why not, हैन? So that's something to keep in mind. हामीले practice गर्दाखेरि please pay attention to these kind of things. Okay? So a couple of extra words doesn't hurt you. It's always welcome. So let's try today and we will close. Okay, let's listen up.
Rising inflation means increasing goods prices and decreasing demand for products.
Okay, so rising inflation means increasing goods prices and decreasing demand for products. Wow, so that was a pretty long one. Okay, rising inflation means increasing goods prices and decreasing demand for products. So that was a pretty lengthy one. So let's see if we got it right. Let's see if anybody got it right. The resources, okay, यति मात्र याद भयो भने. Okay, yes, Mr. Rana, no worries. The resources not enough for this assessment. So त्यति याद भयो भने पनि it's okay. It doesn't matter. जति याद हुन्छ हामीलाई त्यति points आउँछ. So I'll copy your answer and put it in the question that we had. So let's see. तपाईलाई याद भएकोले कति points आउने रहेछ तपाईको है त. So let's just quickly check. Rising inflation means increasing goods prices and decreasing demand for products. So your goods ko pachadi apostrophe was what we missed. So we will lose point over there. Okay, हाम्रो राणा जी को चाहिँ actually answer यहाँ राखेर हेर्छु.
The resources cited are not enough for this assessment.
Okay, so Mr. Rana, let's see what you get on the scoreboard. Okay, मलाई यति मात्र याद भयो भने के हुन्छ भन्नुभयो थियो. So if you only remember that much, 4 out of 5 is what you get, which is not bad. Yeah. So 4 out of 5 is a good score. So thumbs up to you. Well done. र यसरी नै प्र्याक्टिस गर्दै जाने एन्ड किप वर्किङ हार्ड अन राइट फ्रम डिक्टेसन. यो क्वेसन त्यति सजिलो छैन किनकि दिस इज समथिङ न्यू, हामीले रेगुलरली गर्ने एक्टिभिटिजहरूमध्ये पर्दैन, त्यो भएको भएर चाहिँ अलिकति गाह्रो नै छ यो क्वेसन. एन्ड हेन्स आई वान्ट यु अल टु मेक स्योर द्याट यु प्र्याक्टिस अ लट अफ दिस क्वेसन्स. ओके, सो यसलाई एकदमै केयर गरेर प्र्याक्टिस गर्नुहोस् एन्ड वी सुड बी गेटिङ थ्रु इट भेरी नाइसली. Your repeat sentence दुईटा question where people do not have a habit. मैले अघि फेरि पनि भने I will repeat it one more time. So यो भनेको एउटा new stuff for all of us. That's why it needs a lot of practice. Okay, so यसमा practice चाहिँ मजाले गऱ्यो भने you definitely get a very very high score. यसमा 1500-1600 एउटा क्वेसन प्र्याक्टिस गर्ने स्टुडेन्ट्सहरूले जेनरली एकदमै राम्रो स्कोर ल्याउँछ. So aim for that and go for that. Okay. Okay. On this Wednesday, hamro listening ko chapter done. So we have covered all the questions of the listening section, summarized spoken text and MCQs and blanks and everything else are done. So that is it. Listening section sakyo hamro. So tomorrow we will be starting off with other sections and maybe the writing section, and we'll move on from there to listening and so on, and reading and so on. So for now, keep practicing, keep working hard. PTE is not as easy as it sounds, especially your repeat sentence र right from dictation दुईटा क्वेसनलाई तपाईँले मजाले यसलाई प्र्याक्टिस गर्नुहोस्, एक्सपर्ट बन्नुहोस्, and then you should be very well positioned to get a massive score. Okay, so please keep working hard. Thank you very much for your time today, and I'll see you again tomorrow morning with a new chapter. So have a good day to all of you, and see you tomorrow.